Hello everyone, Mr. Ono is here. Guess what? It's time to talk the Vigilant Christian again. Well, sort of. Okay, so you may remember in the last time I talked about Vigilant Christian Mario, he brought up someone named FaceLikeTheSun, who made not one but two videos about Gravity Falls and CERN. Well, now it's time to talk about those. Now, the first video I'm talking about, he talks about basically more or less the same stuff that Vigilant Christian Mario went over in his own video, but with some new things and some new details. So, we're going to start with that one, because guess what? We're taking out both videos today. Because, they're relatively short, and they don't even crack 10 minutes, neither of them. So hey, let's do this.
First off, there is a project being filmed by Vice, and I believe it's already been done. It is called Symmetry. And what it is a dance opera that is filmed inside CERN's Large Hadron Collider. And here are some photos from the project. You can watch the teaser of Symmetry on Vimeo, and I'll leave links in the description section. But basically, to me, what this represents, for all intents and purposes, this seems to be literally just a ritual. I mean, literally a ritual calling out to the gods, or perhaps the god, lowercase g, that they are trying to invoke with this whole project. And if you consider the statue of Shiva, the god of destruction, that sits in front of CERN, things get really, really interesting really quickly. Especially when you start considering the fact that one of the things that Shiva does is dance for the purpose of creation and the purpose for destruction. There's a thing called the Shakti, and basically Shiva forms a tantric couple with Shakti, which is an embodiment of energy, dynamism, and the motivating force behind all action and existence in the material universe. And basically what happens is when Shiva does a dance called the Lasya, it's a gentle form of dance and it's associated with creation. And there's also something called the Tandava, which again is a dance that's associated with power and masculinity, and it has something to do with the destruction of the world. So again, in my opinion, this is simply a ritual that they are performing in order to appease the gods, maybe call out to them, ask them to come through. And who or what might be coming through the portal, if it is a portal and they open CERN as a gateway here?
Okay, so to sum up what Gon said there, he seems to be saying that the dance in Symmetry, or the dances in Symmetry, are invoking and or appeasing the goddess of creation and destruction in Hinduism, Shiva. And as he'll say later on, these dancers invoke destruction. Now, there is a big problem with this. And it stems from the fact that this movie isn't even out yet. We only have the trailer, and in the trailer, we only see snippets of dances. So honestly, I couldn't tell you whether or not that the dances even resemble the dance of creation or the dance of destruction. I mean, I know what those dances look like. I actually went ahead and watched a few videos to see what those dances look like. And honestly, until the whole movie actually comes out, I couldn't really tell you whether or not the dances in Symmetry will bear resemblance to either of Shiva's dances. It's just too soon to tell. That's not going to stop Gon's, though. He's just going to go ahead and assume that these are dances that invoke destruction. Even though the trailer is even though the trailer is all we have, the movie's not even out yet. You're way too hasty, dude.
Well, not surprisingly, just yesterday, the Disney XD show Gravity Falls had their second season, episode 11, Not What He Seems. And I've been tracking Gravity Falls for a very long time now. I know everyone's talked about the Illuminati symbolism, and if you watch the show, I've been watching it since the beginning when it started. The thing is with this show is that it seems like the writers sort of make fun of the whole concept of Illuminati and sort of use that in a way to state the obvious, so to speak. So there's a part of me that goes, okay, the writer here is a young guy. He's just sort of using it to portray some of his ideas. But I definitely think that someone's in his ear or somebody is helping him come up with some of these ideas, because why would this episode air this week, the same week that the Large Hadron Collider will be turned on at double the power?
Yeah, it is a coincidence. But I know you and Mario don't believe in coincidences, so I guess it's only fair to assume that you and Mario believe that there are close ties between Disney and CERN. Okay, you need to actually prove that such ties exist between Disney and CERN, because, well, without that proof, you cannot say that this is a more than a coincidence, that this is all connected. Without that proof, it is a coincidence. And if you have that proof, you would have presented it by now. But you haven't, and judging by the rest of the video and your next video, you don't have that proof. Mario didn't have that proof either. If you have such proof, please, let me see it.
And then last night, Gravity Falls, Not What He Seems airs, and what do you know? The portal is opened, and somebody comes through the portal, and we'll find out exactly who, I guess, in the next episode, but supposedly it's Stan Pines' brother, or perhaps it's Stan Pines, the real Stan Pines, and this was actually a clone or a double or something like that. We don't know yet, but we know that when this person comes through the portal, which is opened, he has 6 fingers, and he puts his hand on the book to show his 6 fingers. Now, why is that important? Why is that significant? Well, we look back to a couple places in the Bible, in the Old Testament, 1 Chronicles 20, verse 6. And also, this is mirrored in 2 Samuel 21:20. And I'll read that one to show you what's going on here. In the King James Version, it says here, "And there was yet a battle in Gath, where a man of great stature that had every hand 6 fingers, and on every foot 6 toes, 24 in number. And he was also born to the giant." And some translations, if you look at the word giant, it's Raphaim, who are the descendants of the Nephilim.
So what you're saying, basically, is that the guy who came through the portal at the end of the episode, because he has 6 fingers, that is in reference to the passage in the Bible that talks about a being who descended from the giants, the Nephilim, who has 6 fingers and 6 toes. And again, the guy who came through the portal, his 6 fingers, in reference to that passage in the Bible. Well then, I guess this guy is also descended from the giants, right? Because he had 6 fingers? No, you idiot. I mean, okay, first, if this guy is descended from the giants, then why is he not a giant himself? I mean, I would assume if you're descended from the giants, you'd be giant, but guess what? He's the same size as Stan Pines. Second, does he have 6 toes? I don't know. Maybe we'll see in the next episode, whenever that'll come out. So again, all you have is that he has 6 fingers. You know, that's called a deformity, right? That means he has a deformity, and he has a freakish 6th finger. There's no connection there to the Bible. Once again, you're pulling this out of your ass. Not surprised that you're a friend of Mario's.
So, what is going on? Why is there this convergence of Large Hadron Collider, a dance of destruction, to what's potentially a portal, a gateway, and then a children's show with lots of symbolism since the inception of the show, showing the portal being opened with a being, a person with 6 fingers, just like the descendants of the Nephilim here that is described in the Bible, shows up. What is going on, guys? I really think this is not a coincidence. I think something really interesting is happening. And then the other part of it that's really weird is that there was a story that came out yesterday that 4 NASA satellites are going to launch into space for a magnetic field mission. And what they're going to do is they're going to keep tabs on the ionosphere, I believe, while CERN is powering up. And this is also very interesting when you consider something that was published on stevequail.com, and I don't remember the person who sent it to me. Thank you for that person. But it is a letter that comes from someone named Michael. And throughout this letter, he talks about how basically, let me just read for you. He goes through a lot of these numbers, and I'll link to the article. But here, let me read for you the final paragraph that explains what might be going on here. He says, quote, "Bottom line is that I'm talking about CERN being a huge gun to shoot an Earth particle out into the heavens by getting it up to the speed of light and essentially piercing the heavens like blowing a hole into a dimensional wall and thus creating an adulterous heaven-earth connection. And that's the quote here. And basically he's talking about opening this portal from Earth all the way up into the heavens and into space.
The Large Hadron Collider is a gun to make a portal between heaven and earth. What the fuck is that guy talking about? What? The only way I can respond to that is this. The only way he might have a sliver of a point is if the Large Hadron Collider were pointed towards the sky, but it's not. So you're just spouting pure gibberish. What the fuck? So Large Hadron Collider is a... Fuck it. Let's just keep going.
And then he references Micah 5, verse 5, quote, "And this man shall be the peace when the Assyrian shall come into our land, and when he shall tread in our palaces. Then shall we raise against him 7 shepherds and 8 principal men, and they shall waste the land of Assyria with a sword, and the land of Nimrod in the entrances thereof. Thus shall he deliver us from the Assyrian, when he cometh into our land, and when he treadeth within our bodies." Is this a reference to Nimrod and the Stargates?
Okay, so as far as I can tell, that passage just seems to be about there's this guy who saves these people from some invading other group of people. He saves them, everybody rejoices, hooray. So this Michael guy believes he came in through a Stargate? Is that what he thinks? I mean, he seems to be thinking that the Stargate is referenced by those 3 words, "in the entrances thereof." But no, I don't see where he gets Stargates from that. I don't. I really don't.
So perhaps this entity that might be coming through here and represented on the show, Gravity Falls, is the return of Nimrod, or the return of some Nephilim, a Gibborim. Boy, things are getting very interesting. And, we're not going to even get into some of the things that are going on in outer space with nuclear explosions on Mars and, other strange things on the moon and everything else. So keep an eye out, guys. Please share this video. I know this is kind of wacky stuff we're talking about again, but I think it's important to keep tabs on this stuff. And just as a side note, I've been trying to get this review of Chappie out for a while. I went to go see Chappie over the weekend, but all this other stuff is taking precedence, and so I'm going to post this stuff first. And so there you go. CERN Watch 2015. Let's stay true to the Word. The Word is revealing to us and speaking into the things happening all around us. God is ultimately in control. We don't need to fear what's coming, but definitely warn about what's coming. So that's about it for this video, guys. Thanks, and God bless.
Okay, so basically, you did 2 things in this video. 1, you made connections where there were none. 2, you made outrageous claims and didn't provide any proof for them. Really, you and Mario are pretty much the same. The only difference is that he has more subscribers. Oh, but if you guys thought that was bad, just wait. We had to get to the other video, wherein he talks more about the actual episode, well, not what he seems, itself. And oh boy, it's about to get worse. A lot worse.
Now, before I get into the CERN symbolism, I want to get into a couple of the characters and their symbolism that's part of the show. Now, first off, the female character Mabel is seen with a key on her sweatshirt the entire time, and she has an opportunity to close this portal at the end of the show, but she decides not to. What's interesting is that in Revelation 9, verse 1, and once again in chapter 20, verse 1, it talks about an angel that came down from heaven with the key to the bottomless pit. And so I think what they're trying to show here is that Mabel has the key. She is the key to the portal, the gateway, perhaps the bottomless pit. And I think this is true because earlier on, it shows Mabel, they're firing off fireworks here and they're kind of having fun, but she says, and this is like the kicker here of why I think this has something to do with CERN, okay? She says in a line while she is launching this firework, she says, "I am the god of destruction." Boy, if that's not obvious. I mean, she pretty much says it right there. That's in reference to Shiva, the god of destruction at CERN. So again, more symbolism, obvious symbolism, showing that the writers of the show are making reference to CERN.
I went over this last time in Mario's video. Can you please move on?
So that's with Mabel. Now with Dipper, I'm not going to spend too much time on Dipper other than the fact that, again, he has the Big Dipper on his forehead. Perhaps that has reference to something in the show, or maybe something where the writers of the show are suggesting that maybe, you know, the entities that are behind the messages or the occult nature of reality comes from another star system that is somewhere, you know, in the cluster of the Big Dipper constellation.
What? But you said in the other video...
The reason why he's named Dipper is because he has a constellation on his forehead of the Big Dipper, which is interesting in itself.
Hey, who needs internal consistency, right? Proceed.
So I'm not exactly sure about that, but there it is. And then, you know, just to show the Illuminati symbolism, it's everywhere. You have this moment here when they're standing on the rooftop, launching their fireworks. There's the Illuminati eye. And interestingly, when the government comes to take Stan Pines away because he's, you know, caught stealing some nuclear substances, the government basically comes to take him out. And it shows the all-seeing eye with the triangle here. And then, you know, what's interesting is that the FBI agents, this ninja-looking guy, busts through and breaks the all-seeing eye glass there. What I think this is representing, and I could be completely way off here, I'm just speculating.
Well, good. At least you can admit that you're probably talking out of your ass here. Now that's something I can drink to.
What could be happening here is that this agent looks a lot like the guys from ISIS, you know, the black face mask and you know, the terrorist looking guy. And he breaks the all-seeing eye, indicating that perhaps what ISIS is doing right now in the Middle East, taking over a lot of the ancient artifacts and stuff like that, that's going to be part of the false flag or the manipulation of events in the public to usher in this opening of the portal.
Oh, wait a minute. Say that again?
And he breaks the all-seeing eye, indicating that perhaps what ISIS is doing right now in the Middle East, taking over a lot of the ancient artifacts and stuff like that, that's going to be part of the false flag or the manipulation of events in the public to usher in this opening of the portal.
Okay, two things. One, let's just compare. And I've grabbed a better still of the SWAT guys in Gravity Falls, so... SWAT guys, ISIS guy, SWAT armor, loose clothing. Yeah, no resemblance. You're pulling that out of your ass. Secondly, so the SWAT guy breaks through the eye in the pyramid, and that's a reference to people in ISIS taking over these valuable and ancient monuments in the Middle East. What? Is there even a train of logic there? I don't think there is. How do you get from guy breaks through eye in the pyramid to ISIS, people in ISIS taking over monuments? I don't see a connection. Where is the connection there? Forget it. No, we're moving on.
And so it's just very peculiar that the same sequence of events have occurred this past couple weeks. Going back real quick to Mabel, you know, you always have the sexual symbolism going on, and the phallus symbol is shown so many times in this episode, and I'm going to point it out here. First off, you got Mabel with the, you know, the boom here. And then you have Stan Pines when he is standing in front of his log cabin. Look at this light. I mean, come on, guys. This is not an accident. This is intentional stuff here. This is not something where they're going, oh, it's just coincidental, because this light in this shape of a phallus shows up over and over and over again throughout the episode. So there's that. And then when the portal starts to open, you have a red sun. The sun turns red. And again, well, first off, you have this phallus-looking symbol breaking again, floating up. You get several triangles breaking.
What the hell? Did Freud just step in for a second there? I mean, all of a sudden you started talking about sexual symbolism? What? Okay, one, there isn't any in the episode. You're seeing whatever bullshit you want to see. Two, what? What does that have to do with anything? Even if there was any sexual symbolism in the episode, so what? Whatever. What else do you got?
But then you also have the sun that turns sort of red. And perhaps this is in reference to the sun going dark, or maybe even the blood moons that's coming up. Again, it just seems to be too coincidental that all these things are converging. And then we have imagery of the goat when the portal starts to open. Of course, it's the year of the goat. Some say sheep. I guess it's kind of confusing on which one it is exactly. I've had conversations about that, but if it is the year of the goat, no surprises there. The goat has been part of the show for a little while, not a huge role, but definitely there. And now I think, we're understanding why this animal is even part of the show.
What? Now you're talking about the year of the goat. Okay. Let me ask you a very serious question, and you'll like this. What the hell does the year of the goat have to do with CERN or the Illuminati? Is there a connection? I don't know. You don't seem to be making one. Why are you even bringing it up then? Fuck, who cares? Can you please get back on topic?
And then let me talk about the portal real quick and why I think this is absolutely talking about CERN. When the three occult books are put together and formulate this image under a black light, here's the message from the author of the book. It says, "The machine was meant to create knowledge, but it is too powerful." What does that sound like? "The device, if fully operational, could tear our universe apart." That sounds exactly like CERN, guys. There are so many scientists that have come out and said, be careful with CERN. It could destroy the universe. It can create a black hole, all this stuff.
Whoa. No, hold on. Slow down there. Just stop. You don't get to make a statement like that without providing a source. I mean, many scientists have said that the Large Hadron Collider is dangerous and could cause a black hole. What scientist, huh? I want a source for that. Spoiler alert, he doesn't have a source. He doesn't provide one in the video, there's no annotation for it, and he doesn't provide one in the description of the video. So, like his good friend Mario, he's pulling this statement straight out of his ass. No surprise there.
I was wrong the whole time. It must not fall into the wrong hands. If the clock ever reaches zero, our universe is doomed, and then total global destruction, the Earth splitting in half. Again, what else could this be referencing in the real world if not CERN? And then, of course, we have the book that has the 6 fingers, and I went over that in the other video. And if you look at when this character or the real Stan Pines or whoever it is comes through the portal, you have 2 symbols that are lit up, and I'm sure there is meaning there. I'm not quite sure exactly what that means, but I'm sure there is alchemical properties there in that symbolism as well. So you have all the ingredients of occult symbolism here all over the place. You have portals, you have phallus symbol, you have the goat, you have the Illuminati all-seeing eye, you have Mabel who has the key to the bottomless pit. And again, I don't think it's a coincidence that this aired on the same week that CERN is turning on, because this show doesn't air weekly. It only airs every once in a while. Every new episode comes a few weeks in between. So they definitely build the suspense. But again, the timing is way too impeccable. Why would this be happening this week?
Actually, I have a really easy answer for your question right there. Alice first decided that it had been long enough between episodes and that he had built up enough suspense. Wow, that was really easy, wasn't it? But simple answers are not the kind of answers that you like to deal with. Not you or Mario or anyone else like you guys.
And so there's a lot more that can be said about this show. Obviously, every show that talks about the main storyline has a lot of symbolism in it. And there are some very interesting things going on. And I'm sure that Alex Hirsch, the guy who created this show, knows about it and has some interesting things to consider. Maybe he is also a Mason and he can't really say publicly because they are sworn to secrecy. So that's about it. I just wanted to add a little bit from the actual episode to show you guys that the connection is definitely there. It's not just make-believe. It's not just something that, we're seeing or we're trying to make connections. No, there is a definite, obvious connection to CERN in a couple different places here. So that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. God bless.
No, there are no connections to CERN and Gravity Falls. No connections to Illuminati. No connections to Freemasons. No nothing in the show that connected to these secret, these spooky groups that can secretly control the world. No, there's none of that in the show. Yes, there are motifs of those things, but Alex Hirsch likes conspiracy stuff. That's why he put it into his own show. The whole show is about this kind of stuff. How do you not understand this? Just because somebody puts Illuminati or Freemason motifs in the show does not mean that they are part of those groups. Like, here, look, boom, I just put an iron pyramid right here. I guess that means I'm part of the Illuminati, right? No, you fucking idiots. You need more proof than symbols. You need hard evidence. Like, documents, something like that. Symbols are not gonna fucking cut it. I really wish these conspiracy nuts would understand this, but nope. FaceLikeTheSun doesn't understand that. VigilantChristian Mario doesn't understand that. Plenty of people don't understand that. And I am sick of it. I'm sick of it. I wish these people would just go away. Or at the very least, provide actual proof. But they don't. All they do is spout nonsense. That's all they do. And I am so sick of it. But thankfully, we won't have to talk about Gravity Falls anymore. We won't have to deal with Gons, hopefully. If Mario doesn't ever mention him again. I hope he doesn't. But next time, we're going to be dealing with Mario once more. And probably the last time for a while, until he releases something that I feel interested to talk about. So next time, we will talk about VigilantChristian Mario. And he's going to talk about and expose bullshit that's not actually there in the film Kingsman: The Secret Service. God help me. And God bless you all.